Wojak, a 30-year-old man, wakes up in his small, cluttered apartment, greeted by the sight of unpaid bills on the kitchen table. The buzzing alarm feels like a constant reminder of his reality, a job that barely pays enough to survive. He sighs, exhausted before the day even begins, but he knows he has to keep going. Arriving at work, Wojak takes his usual place in a quiet corner of the office. His boss passes by, handing him a stack of files without even a "good morning." Wojak's job is repetitive and demanding, often feeling like he's carrying the workload of two people. But despite his hard work, his paycheck remains frustratingly small. Day in and day out, he completes his tasks without acknowledgement, feeling like just another cog in the machine. Occasionally, he overhears colleagues talk about vacations or shopping trips he could never afford, and a pang of envy hits him. He feels invisible, as if his hard work means nothing. After a long day, Wojak heads to the grocery store. Carefully counting each dollar, he picks up the bare essentials. He glances around, seeing families with full carts, and wonders if he'll ever be able to afford more than the basics. Back in his apartment, he flips through his bills, wondering how he'll manage rent and groceries this month. The stress is constant, weighing on him even in the few hours he has to himself each night. One night, over a call with his old friend Mike, Wojak shares his frustrations. "Why don't you just find a better job?" Mike asks. Wojak laughs bitterly. "It's not that easy. Who would want to hire me?" Deep down, though, he feels a spark, a small voice telling him he deserves better. He knows he's hardworking, even if his boss doesn't see it. In the weeks that follow, Wojak starts to make small changes. Every night, he spends an hour learning new skills online. Slowly, he builds up his confidence, and, after a few months, he starts applying for new jobs. Rejections come in, and there are moments when he wants to give up. But he remembers that feeling of being undervalued and keeps pushing forward. Finally, after months of persistence, Wojak lands a new position. It's not glamorous, but the pay is fair, and his new boss actually listens and acknowledges his efforts. For the first time in years, he feels a sense of hope and pride. He's no longer just working to survive. He's beginning to see a future where he can thrive. Sitting in a cafe with his first paycheck from the new job, Wojak sips his coffee, a small smile on his face. He knows he still has challenges ahead, but he's learned something valuable. He deserves a life where he's respected and fairly compensated. The journey was tough, but he's proud of himself for taking that first step. End message. Life may be difficult, but everyone deserves respect and a fair chance.